Cotton here again. Today I'm talking about water and stained water and fishing these lakes where the water has gotten stained. Basically, fishing term is you learn, you fish clear waters, stained waters. And what I've learned about fishing lakes like Butler, we fished Lake Washington here recently, and what I've learned about stained water is fish have a tendency to be in a shallow column when the water is so stained like it is. So a lot of times people are out there fishing, they're fishing way too deep in stained water. Most of the time those fish, they just really gravitate to a more shallow water column. We fish Sardis. We caught those fish on Sardis 5 feet down, and I mean we fished up to 10 feet of water, but we were all catching these fish. All our fish came in a shallow water column. So just a friendly tip for you guys: always pay attention to detail when you're out there fishing. If you notice that the water has a lot of stain to it, it's maybe because of a lot of rain and a lot of wind causes those waters to get muddied up a little bit. And to help you guys catch ratio when you're out there on the water, think about starting shallow first before running that bait deep. Just a friendly tip, Warren Cotton, Jeremy Davis, and hopefully that'll help you catch more fish and put more fish in the boat.
Jeremy Davis, Big Bite Baits. I want to talk to you guys today and let you know what worked for us today. Today the first thing I would say what worked for us today was teamwork. I mean, when Warren is up front and he's working the poles and running everything, and once we get in that zone, we want to stay in that zone. And I get up and come back in and work drift socks, put one sock out, maybe we have to put two, or sometimes we will have to run four, and then and the conditions would change and I have to pull one sock up, and until we get that presentation just how we want it. And that's what puts crappies in the boat for us. And another thing I want to talk about is, it's like Warren was saying with the speed and everything, and with the drift socks, that really controls our speed. And when we go and we start looking at marking fish, sometimes we would just go ahead and pass those fish up, watch our graph, find the fish again, pull past them, put the socks out, and work our way back slowly through the fish. Many people believe that you need to troll into the wind, and that is successful sometimes, and we find that being successful sometimes, but there's a lot of times that we find those fish and we just go with the wind. And once again, if it's really windy, put out our drift socks. But sometimes the conditions will be just right, but that's not all the time. Sometimes the conditions be right where we can just go with the wind, and me and Warren actually call it putting it in the wind. And that's effective, but not saying that going with the wind, going into the wind is bad or anything or won't put crops in the boat. I'm not saying that, but we find that going with the wind actually give that bait a better presentation for us a lot of times, and we know that we put a lot of crops in the boat doing it that way. And like I said, it's your preference, but that's just what works for us. And I mean, going into the wind, we can push into the wind if we come over something and we can turn around and push up on it to put crappies in the boat. That works fine. I mean, but you have to really rely on your electronics to do that, to turn around and get back into that spot that you came over. And a lot of that comes with time on the water and putting in time on the water and paying close attention to your electronics. And that's just another tip that I wanted to say and let you guys know what works for us.